I just wanted to check in with everybody today. I was reminded of a story about living in Calcutta a couple of years ago. Actually, it's not a story, it's a memory. But I went to Calcutta in 2012, and my idea was to stay there for 2 years and to study at the monastery there, Vivekananda University. And I was living in San Francisco at the time that I went there, so that was sort of my base of normal. I had been in San Francisco for 27 years at that point. And I went to Kolkata, and if you haven't been there, you know that, let me tell you that Kolkata is a very different city than San Francisco. And I found it quite challenging when I first got there. I mean, there was a lot more pollution. It was oppressively hot for me, and the noise, I didn't have any glass in the windows of my room, so the constant noise of the city was a barrage. And I'd been there, almost a couple of weeks, and I was just feeling like, oh my God, I can't do this. I can't do this for 2 years. And so it was kind of my habit in times like that to go to the shrine and just go and do some meditation and just be quiet and try and hear a solution, an inner solution to these things. This idea arose in my mind to get a camera and to start taking an afternoon walk every day for an hour. And on that walk, to try and find the most beautiful thing to take a picture of. It trained me to open up a different eye, as it were, in myself. An eye that noticed beautiful things, that was no longer looking at the dirt, no longer looking at the pollution, no longer noticing how hot and oppressive and noisy it was. But I trained myself to begin looking for beautiful things. And I did a series of photos called Colors of Kolkata. It's online if you want to search it out and find it. And it put me in a very different space. It changed my experience of the world. I tell that story because we're in a time of a lot of isolation. And when we're in isolation, our avenues of experience are really limited. Basically, it becomes the newspaper and the news, maybe, and a few things. We're not out and about much anymore. And those can be very negative, and those can be quite alarming, and those can be very disempowering feelings. They can really bring about a lot of depression, and I'm reading that depression is at an all-time high right now, and anxiety. And I think that that's why it is. And I wanted to tell that story to encourage you to find a way of seeing how beautiful things are, even in the midst of this multiple set of crises that we're enduring. To really train your eye to see the positive, and to train yourself to exude the positive, to really consciously come up with acts of kindness, acts of love, to really try and propagate that atmosphere for yourself, and to become aware, really, more than anything, become aware of what your avenues of information are that are telling you about the world that you can't experience directly right now. And test them. Are they unbiased, and are they giving you an accurate perspective, and are they empowering you to be positive and to live positive? And if not, maybe try and limit their effect on you, limit your exposure to them, and try and cultivate new ones, either through talks with friends, or I don't know, what are some of these other online things where you can talk to total strangers? You can connect them onto the internet and just chat with them. Find out what their life is like, what's going on out there. But find avenues of experience to get an idea of what's going on, and begin paying attention locally to your own environment and affect it positively, so that we don't succumb to depression, so that we don't get caught in anxious thinking, and that we maintain our freedom, that we maintain our freedom of light, our freedom of being, to express that inner strength that is inherent in us, and to make the world about that. So I'm checking in and wishing you the best on that, and just sharing some things that occurred to me that might be helpful. May you all be well.